Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. 200th episode, and we got our audience in the background howling. We're enough to make the dogs howl.
Greetings and blessings to all y'all out there. This is our 200th show. Oh, that's enough for the dogs to howl.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Me and my friend Robert, we have been doing 200 times. Oh my goodness gracious. So as always though, we welcome you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And we always pray that, you know, that you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. And thank you, Robert. 200 shows. Woo-wee.
Yeah. Yeah, like he says, shows start with barking dogs. Don't know why he does that every single time. Thank you, John Price. Anybody who wants to, you know what I'm gonna do something funny. I am gonna let's see, put a link in the show, and if you guys, anybody wants to come in and talk about our 200th show with us a little bit, say hi and thank you, congratulations, whatever you want to do, you're welcome to it. We can't have you on long, but if you want to come in and talk to us and talk about our 200th show a little bit, or Native Americans, myths and legends, and how you enjoyed it, you come right on in. Link is in the chat. So there you go. Thank you, John Price. Thank you, Lucky Stone. Thank you, Elderberry, who posts this in Milky or Messenger on Messenger all the time on the Messenger thing. Thank you so much for doing that every week. It really helps. There's Joanne Dancing Gypsy. And David Null, my co-host, thank you for doing 200 shows with me. It's been such a wonderful time. So we're going to roll back the time, and let's go back to our 101 show. And you tell me, well, what do you think from then till now? And see a little bit of us from the past. How about that? And here we go. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you with my co-host, Hawkeye Two Feathers, David Hall. Thank you for coming. Now we're on episode 101, and we got to start all over pretty much till we get to 200 before we celebrate again.
Another year's worth at least, right?
That's right. That's right.
Happy Halloween, everybody. So everybody start hollering. Wee! The dogs are barking and howling at the moon tonight. I know your dog's been making noise, and Duggar here, he's making noise. So
Get on me. I start talking. He's always like, "What are you talking about?" Ooh, see how no. He's just laying there. Crazy dogs. Well, nothing's changed, has it?
and look,
Oh my
at
God!
how short my beard
It's
was.
the same. Yeah. Holy cow. That was us 100 episodes ago.
100 episodes ago? Wow,
Yeah, actually
look
99.
how long my beard has gotten in 100 episodes.
Yeah, and it was Halloween. I think that was probably about 2 years ago, wasn't it? It would have been close to it, because 150 episodes is 1 year, or a little over. So yeah, a little about 2 years. Wow, and we've been at it. We've been at it 4 or 5 years now, haven't we?
Yeah, because there are 52 weeks in a year. So every year is 50 shows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
That's right. That's right. If anybody wants to come on, you don't have to put your picture on. You just come on, say hi, and be part of our 200 show and talk a little bit about Native myths and legends as we get
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, that's right. So My monologue for tonight, and tonight is special for sure. And 200 episodes, 200 nights of stories, legends, mysteries, and truths from the land we all stand on right here in America, and in the Americas, put it that way. And the best part, we didn't do it alone. We walked this trail together, me and Hawkeye, all of you too, with the Milky Way Soul Tribe, all of you. Anybody who listens to this show is part of the tribe. And for 200 shows, we've explored the voices of our ancestors, stories older than the border around us, older than the towns and the roads, and older than the very idea of America. Stories whispered in the wind and carried on rivers, carved into stone and passed on from generation to generation. And tonight, we honor the people who were first here, the storytellers, the warriors, and the dreamers, the healers, the tribes whose legends shaped the soul of this continent. We talked about the Crow and their visions, the Lakota and the Star People, the Navajo and the Skinwalkers, the Hopi and their prophecies, the Apache and the Thunder Beings, and so many more. But tonight isn't just another story. Tonight is a celebration, a reminder that history is bigger than the textbooks and the truth is older than written words. So settle in, my friends. Let's honor the ancestors and revisit the legends and open this 200th episode the way we all do, with great stories, where great stories start. And we respectfully, with curiosity and the fire in our hearts, this Native American Myths and Legends show and will live on for a long, long time, way past our 200th episode, right here on the Milky Way Soul Tribe. Thank you all. There you go. Thank you all. David went to go get some, but thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John Price. Thank you, Scotty Boy. You'll drink to that. You drink to that. Make sure you're not wearing pants. There you go. Gotta have somebody wearing some shorts out here because it's freaking cold. It's so cold here in North Dakota. I go outside and the minute I get out there, my breath freezes in the air and turns to snow, eh? But thank you, Joanne Dance Egyptian. Thank you, Elderberry, for everything you do and all your support. Witchy Moon, thanks for tuning in and being our friend. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lucky Stone, for all your support, for being here every week, always saying Happy Tribal Tuesday. Really makes my day, and for supporting me, helping me through those times when, man, I was struggling. It meant a lot. It really did. Thank you, everybody, for being here all the time, and all the ones I didn't mention that will probably come in later. But thank you all for this episode, making this show possible, going out and buying these shirts that say, Hawkeye and Robert V and these mugs. Thank you for going out and getting them, because Robert and David and the David Null, the Hawkeye Two Feathers, the best storyteller on YouTube, is right here, right now. The only one out there that can tell a story, none other than David Null, Hawkeye Two Feathers. Thank you.
And we've done 200 stories.
And that's right.
I mean, because if it's 200 shows, we have, that means I have read 200 stories. So for me, that's an accomplishment.
Well, it absolutely is. And remember, if we did 200 stories, there's close to probably 200 shorts that I did, because every time you tell a story, I clip that out and make a short of it. So you people out there, you don't have to go and listen to the whole show. You can just skip right to the story and watch the story. That is the way it is. So there you go. And let's see, what else is there? But anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Remember, we're on Spotify. I don't have a whole lot of shows wrapped up in there, but if you're driving down the road and you can't really watch the thing, just go ahead and hit the button, go on your Spotify and just put it on as a podcast. Listen to us there. It's pretty cool, because you can just listen along. Why not?
Yeah, because you don't really need to look at my ugly mug.
Yeah, we got shows for radio, or we got faces, I should say.
Yep, I got a face for radio.
Yeah, and voices for. I got a voice for silent movies. That's good.
Wave your hands,
yeah. I know you gotta love it. You gotta love it. A voice for silent movie. I just come up with that one on the top of my head, Joanne says, "Congratulations, Hawkeye, with all you've been through. You are still here with us. Makes me so happy." Well, yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Makes me happy too. Yeah, I mean, the times that I've been in the hospital several times, right? And take my cell phone and at least pop in and say hello. So I tried my best not to miss a show.
That is for sure. I remember doing shows from your hospital bed.
Yeah. I refuse to give up. And so, if anything, for those of you sitting out there, I refuse to give up, give in, right? And so, even from my hospital bed, I was determined to do a show with my friend Robert. And so, for all of you out there that, want to give in and quit, don't give into it. Don't quit. Just, put your faith in the Creator and ask for help if you need it, and get her done.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about get her done. You just got to buckle down. I mean, isn't it crazy how much we've improved? And I know I improved, but I'm always asking you for direction, ain't I? Let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, we coordinate. I ask you questions. Hawkeye's given me, people you don't understand. Hawkeye's given me so much advice on how to just talk and tell stories on this show that, it's amazing. And I improve a little bit here and there. I think about all the wise things he's told me so that someday maybe I could be a half-ass master storyteller.
Somebody, you're going to have to take over when I'm gone,
That's right. I'll be looking for another co-host, and I'll have to take over the stories, and they'll have to do the show. I can't do it all.
I intend to be around for a little while. Just the other day, I called my aunt Shirley, down in Zephyr Hills, Florida, and December the 7th, she turned 90 years old. Wow. 90 years old. And here I am, kicking the dirt because I'm 73. And so me and my aunt had a nice little conversation, and I'm like, I don't think she's ever had a bone broken or anything like that. So she has fortunately been very healthy for her 90 years. But I look at my 73 and go, I don't see how I made it. I don't see, crawling through the mud and under the barbed wire. You'd swear that I was in World War I, crawling through the ditches, being shot at every day. But life does that. Sometimes you're just, walking along and everything's groovy. And hold that thought. Maybe somebody's coming in. But, sometimes it feels like we're at war every day. And personally, with pain or, finances or whatever. And we just have to, keep on with it. We just can't give up. That's all there is to it. And so maybe by my 200 shows, people can say, well, he didn't give up. he decided to, even in his hospital bed, he decided to come on and tell us a story, or at least show up and be present. So all of y'all who have showed up here, many of you every week, and I gotta say, from my point of view, I feel very proud to be here for y'all, you know. To be able to, you know, read stories and have discussions with Robert. And, you know, and we have discussions by way of y'all getting in the chat room and asking questions and comments and so forth. So Scotty Boy giving us information along the way. So, you know, I consider that a great blessing that y'all have participated, that y'all have been here, not just for us, but for each other, because we're the Milky Way Soul Tribe, you know. Keep up the good work, y'all.
Okay, I'm back. I shut my speaker up. Sorry about that. That was work calling.
Oh, that's all right. I kept talking. That's what I was supposed to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's why you're the greatest backup in the world, because see, people behind the scenes, we have this deal going on that there may be problems that I have to go and challenge while the show is going on. And when that happens, I got to say, see ya, take over, and somebody's got to pick up the reins. And Hawkeye, you do the best job of that. You pick up the reins and you continue right on. And I really appreciate that, because I've had people on that as soon as you disappear, they just sit there going, are we live? Is the show over? I've had people do that, and then they sit there for a minute. Well, he's not coming back. I don't know. Am I live? Anybody there? And then they just shut off, and then the show goes bad, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, show's over. Not a good day.
Well, I'm not done that to you. If anything, we've gone over.
No, I know, but I mean that's why it's good, because we've worked it out behind the scenes that if I disappear, you just keep right on trucking, and I will be back. It's either the computer, the modem, the dogs, could be a lot of things. Sometimes it's work, and sometimes, remember, there's sometimes where I'm on call and I gotta go.
Yep.
I'm doing a show on the road. Anyway, yeah.
Well, and it has helped for me, with all of the stage productions and things that I've done, because sometimes something will happen, and you just got to step in. I've been on stage before where whoever I'm the actor or actress is on stage with me, they look at me with that deer in the headlights, and they can't, that they have forgotten their lines. They have forgotten where they are, and there's an audience 10 feet away, and they're all staring at you, waiting on you to say your next line. And because Dave knows their line as good as I know my own, I go, did you say that your brother called you on the phone earlier? Oh yeah, my brother. Oh yeah, he called. What did he say? Did he talk about Harvey? Which was the Harvey was the show with the invisible rabbit. But anyway, so I'm remembering this. She's been passed many years, but Miss Celeste, she was so great, and she just looked at me. So I have been there for many years when sometimes those kind of things just happen, and you gotta thank God. I appreciate it, I do, give me the quickness of wit to go, uh-oh, we're in trouble. You know, got to pull this one out. Say something, Dave. Even if it's wrong, we can fix it later, you know. But anyway, so
that is one of the things I've learned from you, come to think of it. That was one of the ones where I remember how I would get really tongue-tied. And everybody knows I get tongue-tied. But you were like, well, if you can't say the right name, get it close and just keep moving on. Nobody will notice. And if they do, well, you know, just keep saying the thing and it'll be fine. And you know, that was my big thing, because I kept thinking in my head, everybody notices. Everybody knows that the name ain't pronounced quite right. And I need to go back and try to respell it or talk. So I spend a minute or two on the one name. So now I say it as close as I can and move right on. Keep the show rolling. That was great advice.
Yeah, because one of the things is even I don't have a script.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you write stuff out and I sort of know what you're going to do and I follow along, but I don't have a script. Only you know what you're fixing to say. So anybody else out there, how are they going to know that you bumbled?
That's right.
Unless you stop and make it obvious.
Yeah, you know? And that's the thing. If I don't I never realized that if I don't make it obvious, nobody knows. But if I feel like everybody's standing over my shoulder watching the words and knowing exactly what, but I'm thinking, well, nobody else out here knows how to speak native or knows these names anyway. You know, you're right. David, you're so right.
And if they do, they'll correct us in the chat.
That's right. Which Lucky Stone does quite often.
Scotty boy.
Versus Scotty boy, yeah. Yeah, but thank you to them, because, you know, I'm glad they point things out. It means they're listening. And I appreciate people listening.
And what I was saying while you were gone was that, you know, I appreciate, both of us do, but I was speaking for myself, that we appreciate the fact that, you know, they're paying attention and that they, you know, that they will correct us or give us extra information, you know, because we're not here to sell something. We're here to tell the story of.
Absolutely. You know, those with that, you know, let's go back to our 112th episode. Let's see what we had to say in the beginning there. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. I think I did that wrong. Sorry. Here we go. Let's go back to our 112th episode and see what we had to say there.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. We got things going on with shamanism, and with my co-host, the shaman himself, Hawkeye Two Feathers. Welcome to the show.
Greetings and blessings, everybody. And as always, we welcome you with the greatness of the great creator. And we hope that you all are doing as well as possible. And we got cold weather as far as South Georgia. So everybody's bundled up. So I hope you're warm tonight. We hope you're warm tonight.
It's nothing for us pros in North Dakota. Yeah, we just do it well out here.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's see. Even Scotty Boy says 52 degrees. So cold out there. Everywhere's getting a little bit of that nippiness. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to warm up. I believe it will warm up soon.
And you know what? It did warm up soon. Oh, yeah. It's another day. Yeah. Puff pass. Thank you. Oh, I know. Nice echo. Oh, echo. I didn't know it was echoing. Sorry, guys. Let's see. We're gonna move a few shows down and we'll see what we were doing in whatever day it was. I'll pick up another show here. You know, download and save all those shows. I'm such a nerdy geek. Oh man, let's go back to one of our first shows that I got recorded. I don't know where the first show is, but I do have the third show recorded. You know, this is our third show we ever did. Let's go to this show. This is kind of interesting. Let's see how we've improved, you know.
Or have we?
Have we? Yeah. This is kind of interesting, you know. Okay. And here we go. We were still on Zoom. Holy cow.
Go live. And you talk to him. Huh?
All right, go ahead. We're live. Hello, everybody.
I was going to say, but I want to go get more coffee.
We'll go get another cup of coffee. You go right
Say
ahead.
hi to everybody.
I will say hi to everybody. We'll get the show on the road.
All right, I'm going to go get
I
coffee.
have to shut something off here before. There we go. It's talking in the background. Don't you worry, people. We are good to go here, and I gotta shut this thing off. Okay. Okay. There we go. I'm running the bus, everybody. Andromeda 7 was really good. That was awesome. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, everybody. That was putting that on. Mandy Moo. That was awesome. You know, I caught most of that. I had it playing in the background, and, watching it on my phone while me and David were talking. But there comes everybody piling in. I know what.
Don't say that men can't be gentlemen, because we waited on the ladies to finish.
That's right.
There are some of us that still have a little bit of, gentleman in us.
I wasn't going to steal the ladies' stuff. Besides that, Egyptian stuff was really great because everybody was over there listening intently. It was very interesting. Thank you.
I hate to
Oh, yeah, me too. Well, anyway, David Castle's in the house.
Deborah Truax and Elderberry.
Well, I wonder whatever happened to all those people. But anyway, thank you. I know we must be getting some kind of an echo effect. That might be on my side. Sorry, everybody. But I hope you are all enjoying a little bit of that. It is just kind of comical how, that was show number 3. Ain't that crazy? How we can go back in time.
I barely even had a beard.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my.
And look how it's grown, my friends. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, let's skip ahead to this show.
A great story tonight. So stick around.
Yeah, we got lots of great shows. I look at these and I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe some of these. I can't believe we did these shows. This is so funny. Ages since then, Elderberry says. I think if I turn my volume down. Anyway, here's 144. We're gonna go to show 144. Hey everybody, if any of you guys want to come on and you want to just tell us, talk about a little bit about the shows and how you've enjoyed it or something, or congratulate us or anything, here's a link. You come on, pop on the show, and we'd like to hear from you personally about all the good times that we had on here and how you may have liked or disliked the show. And hopefully you liked it. Because they were just two crazy guys, right?
Yeah. And, they tuned in just to see how bad we'd mess up.
That's about it. So we're going to jump ahead to show number 144.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show about Indians from tribes and stuff that you've never heard of. So stick around. And with my co-host David Null, Hawkeye Two Feathers, telling you a great story tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
And welcome. It's the Soul Tribe. And we welcome you as always. with the grace of the great Creator, and we continue to pray that you will learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe and from the Creator. And we do have an interesting story tonight called White Hawk Belazy. So that'll be later on, and back to you, Robert. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you on Tuesdays, and sometimes we run a little late and we're a little frantic for a moment or two, but we settle right down. So thank y'all for coming.
Well, and that's the thing is, sometimes we're a little slow or whatever, but this is our 144th show, and we're going to continue on with 145 next week. Go bigger.
How about that 144?
Yep. And it's going to always get better every single time that we do a show. So to start off with, we got lots of stuff going on. I hope you're all enjoying the summer coming into the fall. Happy 144th. Yes. And if you divide that by 12, guess what? It's 144. It means that's some special number, isn't it?
Yeah, because 12 times 12 is 144.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there's all kinds of things that go with that 144. So anyway, it's all some kind of cool number. It's a number in the Bible of all the, he's 144. Anyway.
And you know what I enjoy about that whole thing is that no matter what happens, you're just always amazed at what show we're on. We're at 144. Holy cow! Can you believe that? This is amazing. I love that when you come on. I love how you say, your little spiel about, thank you and all of that stuff to everybody and the world and the Creator and all that. I don't know. I can never remember it all, but you do a really good job of that. Thank you. I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's 200 shows. Oh, hey!
Yep, absolutely.
Because I am amazed that we have done 144 or 200 shows. I am absolutely amazed that I'm still here after all this time and that we're still here. And, and to me, that's something to be proud of in the fact that you and I continue to do this, regardless if I'm in the hospital or not, that we have, sustained after all these years. And it's literally been 4 years, so amen, brother.
Yeah, I know. 200 shows. The fun just keeps coming, and there's something new every week, and we keep tossing it up too. It ain't like we're just gonna recycle the same shows over and over. We're always, we're just always doing something that's gonna be fun and interesting and talk about a new subject. You never really run out of these subjects with this Native American stuff. You can talk about, like, we've been on this mountain man kick for a while because, the mountain men were like the Indians. They went out there as white men and learned the Indians' trade. They learned their way of life, and then they became like an Indian. Some of them even became Indian chiefs, like James Beckworth. They learned to be like an Indian, only they were a white man, and they carried a gun. And I don't know if a white man was stronger or more endurant than an Indian or what. I just don't know. Now tell me if I'm wrong. I've been doing this show for a long time, and I think that when you really look at it, the Indians, the white man went out there with an idea of kill or be killed. And the Indians went out there with the idea of counting coup, being brave, and therefore that's where they lacked. They may have been braver than a white man, but because they they shied away from certain things, and they had that code of honor. The white man manipulated it. Am I wrong?
But some of them did. Absolutely. In that one could say, took advantage of their of a good nature, if you will, and but here's something also that the mountain men that we've talked about and that you studied and brought to us, they were all Native Americans, though.
Mm-hmm.
They were all born in America. They weren't born in England.
Not all of them.
Well,
some of them were born. Remember that one guy? He was born in Ireland, and some of them were born as little kids, came over here, and they were Quakers and Puritans. They came. A lot of these guys that we're talking about, they ended up being born in like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, and they came west after that.
But there were only a few. Most of them, I remember, were born in America.
Yes.
There were only those few that were born overseas.
Yes.
But to my point, they were native also to America. Mm-hmm. So I think that has something to do with it. They grew up in a log cabin, dirt floor, and by the age of 3, they were out splitting wood for the fireplace, and and so they were. I say they were brought up as pioneers, but that's all there was back then. They were all pioneers. Anybody that lived off of the coast, they were all pioneers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because had to go down the trail to the outhouse, had to go collect water from the well, so no indoor plumbing or anything like that. And everybody had kerosene lamps and candles, and so everybody suffered in the same way. They all were pioneers. And so people today, it was like, oh my God, if I had to live 1 week like that, I don't know what I'd do. Some people couldn't live a day like that, and it was that was everyday life for them. So, thank God our ancestors were a hardy bunch of people.
Yeah, they were tough, way tougher than we are. That's for sure. And what do you do about, you can definitely say that people nowadays would have puked out long before, that these guys even got started. But toughen up or shut up, right? I'm reading this new book. It's called, was it Hobbs, John Hobbs or Jim Hobbs or something. He was a buddy of Kit Carson and whatever. He was captured by the Comanche for a few years and lived with them. And I was reading about it. And he went back with the white people. And in one of the chapters that I was reading, he was talking about how him and his trapper buddies were out there and they ran across some Apaches. And Apaches were badass, right? And the Apaches, got up on a ridge and they all lined their horses up, so they looked like a lot more than they were. He said there must have been 50 to 100 of them maybe. And they are all sitting down there, these trapper guys, and they're making the sign of peace, right? The peace sign. They're saying, we want to be friendly. We want to be friendly. And one of the trapper guys, yells up and he says, I'll show you how friendly I want to be. And he gets his gun up and shoots one of them, kills him dead, knocks him off his horse. And then they all turn around and leave. And I'm thinking, this is how we make friends with the natives? Is this how we interacted? No wonder why they hated us. Look,
yep.
We were there to make friends. We lined up, showed us, how many we were, and, that we weren't killing them. We were standing, we're far away. And one of the trappers says, no way, I'll show you how friendly I am, and then kills one of us. And instead of us going and attacking him, we just ride away and take our loss. You know, my friend just died because that guy down there didn't want to be friendly. Yeah, no wonder why I would hate them too. I would have hated the trappers. I would have wanted to kill every one of them, you know, metaphorically anyway. But the idea is I wouldn't want to be friends with them ever. This is how you treat people. There was another part in the book where it was the Comanches again, or Comanches, Cochise. They ran into Cochise, and his some of his warriors went out and raided a mule train, and they took all the mules and all the stuff that was on there. It was supposed to go to a store in New Mexico for, well, the store owner in New Mexico had told this group of trapper guys or scout guys or whatever they were, and he says, you know, you can keep half the mules, and if you bring back all the stuff that I can sell in my store, I need that stuff, you know, and I will pay you. I will give you X amount of dollars. So they go out hunting these Apaches, and they ran across some of the mules, and they just followed the dead mules with packs on them because, you know, after running so hard, the mules would just drop over dead. And so they're just following this dead mule bit till they got to these Comanche guys or whatever, and they, you know, surrounded them at night. And the Comanches had found the liquor in one of the mule packs, so they were drinking up wine and booze and alcohol, whiskey, whatever.
They were whooping it up.
Yeah. They're whooping it up, exactly. And when the Indians get drunk pretty fast. So they got all drunk, and then the guy says, hey, we'll just wait till they get drunk and we'll surround them. And they did. And once they were, you know, passed out or fell asleep, they went down there and wiped them out, scalped them all. And I thought, really? You know, you could have probably went in there and just took their stuff and, you know, took them prisoner or something, and you know, something. But you just went in there and all what 50 of these guys went in there and just wiped them out. And then they got all the mules back, and not just wiping them out, they said, well, they got to be from a tribe that's nearby. They're going somewhere. So they kept on going until they came to this encampment of like 1,000 Indians. So you can imagine 1,000 Indians in a camp, and they surrounded this camp, and they waited till dark, until nightfall, and then they invaded the camp, and they burned the houses, killing everybody in sight. And it was Cochise's village. They stole all the horses. There was over 1,500 horses there. Stole the horses, you know, murdered men, women, and children, and burned the village to the ground. And whoever ran away, some of them, there was a lake nearby. Some of them ran into the lake, and then they would shoot them in the lake, or they would drown. And you know, so either you're an Indian jumping in the lake, you're going to get shot or drown, one or the other. And I thought, this was terrible. This was really terrible. I mean, over what? Nothing. It was over nothing. These people were living peacefully in their village, and you went down there, stole their horses, and killed off their women and children and their families and whoever, you know, was in the way. And then you wonder why the natives raided towns and villages and killed and did all kinds of horrible things to these people on wagon trains. Just saying.
Yeah, and you know, and how many times have, you know, it's been brought up that you know, there was the only good Indian's a dead Indian, you know, and that all Indians were savages, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even to this day, Indians are savages. So, you know, the idea that the white man was taught and pounded in his head that the Indian was lesser than a black man. I mean, there were folks who were like, "Oh man, I'll take a black man any day over an Indian." That's still true to this day. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, what? Well, but people are people, but not in that, back in the day, a black man was like was a third of a human to a white man.
Yeah.
But Native Americans were less than a black man. So, the idea that they could do anything with them and treat them as a savage, like, oh man, I got a bad dog over there. I can whoop him, kick him, do whatever I want to with him because he's a savage dog. Same thing with the native, he was a savage dog. Now, also, think about this. How many of those trappers had native wives? Several of them.
Yep.
And that, here was a mountain man who could see the tribe for what it was. They were just human beings that lived differently than the white man, basically. And, but, you don't hear anything of the fact that when those trappers got back to civilization, that them white people did not. He was an Indian lover. There were a lot of people who would pick on a white man who took a native wife. He was a Indian lover. He was he was a savage. And how could you, marry or conjugate with a savage? And, that's as bad as doing it with a goat or, just so, it's no wonder that the pioneer men went back to live with the tribe because they were shunned by their own people, by the way.
Yeah.
For simply being married to a native woman.
Yeah, which is pretty sad. Pretty sad. Yeah, I know. I think about that too. And, like a lot of these trappers took native wives and had native kids and, and they loved them dearly and said that they were some of the best partners they ever had.
Right.
But they could never take that native wife back to civilization because, it just causes trouble.
They would never be accepted, Well, come on, honey, let's go back to Virginia. No, that didn't work.
Let's take a look at movies. Have you ever seen Flaming Star with Elvis Presley?
Maybe.
What was it about?
I don't know. I just remember that my Aunt Shirley, who just turned 90, took me to every Elvis movie that was ever made. So it sort of became a blur. I'm not sure if I saw the movie or not, but my aunt took me to every Elvis movie there ever was. So
a few people out there are Elvis stars because I am. I got every Elvis movie ever made. And Flaming Star. Let's go back to that. Flaming Star was about a movie about a man who took a woman native and made her his wife. And they had a couple of children, one of whom was Elvis, who played a half white, half native man. And he looked and dressed like a white man, but he was native, and he was torn between the tribe and his way of life as a white man. And he would go to town and people would pick on him because he was a native. And when the natives started rising up, they blamed him for the trouble because he was native. Hey, your people are killing all our people. They're burning our houses and our crops. It's your fault. Well, how's it his fault? He's just, he was brought up as white man. And then, of course, it goes on with he had to have a choice, and eventually he says he just got tired of it all, and he says, I can't be accepted in the white man society. I have to just go out and either live with the natives or die, one or the other. They don't want me because I'm kind of white, and you don't want me because I'm kind of native. Where do I fit in? I'm not fitting in anywhere. And it was a struggle. He didn't know where he belonged.
So what happened?
Well, in the end, they killed his father and his mother, and and then they killed a bunch of the Indians and stuff, and it was terrible. They blamed it all on him, and he eventually kind of saved the day, but he risked his life, saved the day, and then in the end, he says, I can't be here. I'm just going to go off into the hills and live by myself or die, because I don't belong with them and I don't belong with you. If I stay here, this is just going to keep happening. I'm going to be blamed for everything. And if I go out, live with them, they're just going to say, hey, you're not one of us.
So he just rode off into the sunset.
And that's kind of how it went. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. I feel bad.
Let me bring that kind of thing up to now.
Mm-hmm.
One of my younger sisters, because they're all younger than me being the eldest of the bunch, fell in love with a black man 25, 30 years ago and had a child. He would be my nephew. But because of I'm trying to use the word and it's not fitting in. The stigmata of it all, I'm a half-breed.
Yeah.
And so he refuses to even see his mother after all these years because she's a white woman.
Really?
But she's like, but I'm your mother. And he's like, yeah, but you're a white woman. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but wait a minute. Now, come on, cut it out. But the black family, the black side of the family are like, you might be a half-bleed, but if you hang out with them white folks, we don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Now that's going on today. Okay. So it's like, when I was in Ohio, I don't know, 20 years ago ish, and I stayed with my sister one night and he was there and we had conversation and everything, and I was like, well, he's a young black man. You can tell he's mulatto, but he's got everything going for him if he pays attention, but he wanted to be a thug. And so he to prove himself, he had to be a thug. So, in a way, I looked at that as what Native men did to Count Coup, right?
Yeah.
So here's this young black man trying to prove himself that he's got to be a thug in order to be accepted. And I thought, well, what a shame, but because he wants to be accepted by these people with a thug mentality, they don't want him to have anything to do with us white people, relatives of his, not just, a neighbor or something, but, we're related, dang it, that, we might talk him out of wanting to be a thug. We might actually teach him something, but because it's the white person's side of the family and ain't none of this real, famous or anything, we're just people, but that we could, teach him how to do things. We could, teach him a real, give him a real job, give him, you know, with the 4 brothers, you know, hey, we can give you all kinds of help and stuff as you're growing older, and we can help you out here with this or teach you this or something. But no, he wanted, and he did, gave it all up to become a thug.
Wow.
So, you know, he's in his 30s now, I believe. So, you know, but even in his older age, they all still have that mentality, you know.
Yeah,
And
it just tells you how us humans really function. You know, we think we're so advanced. You know, I talk a lot about this on Saturday nights. We believe that we're so advanced and we're so educated and we're so this and that. The problem is we're not. We're still tribal. We're just given all this technology, but really we're still running around with a club in our hand, territorial boundaries. We go by looks, religion, breeding. You know, what are you? Oh, what's your nationality? You know, oh, your color is a little off. Who do you belong to? You go stand in that crowd over there, because we don't want to have nothing to do with you over here. See, our skin is white and your skin is brown, and you get what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
I mean, is that an advanced society? No. You know, that's why I said, if aliens come here, you know, they're going to look at us like, oh my God, you had thousands of years to improve yourself, get over this stuff, you know, become better. And, you know, we're going to take you over and we don't care. You're just a crazy bug-like species that, you know, is just destroying your world. We'll show you how it's done, because we work together. And you can't defeat us because we work together. We're united here. We have that bug. Say it's the ant people that are invading us. You think ants? If you look at an ant hill, right? You kill 2 or 3 ants, the rest of the ants come and attack you, and they attack you. They don't just go, oh my gosh, there's a big hand there, and he's killing a few ants, or a big beetle come in and it's killing a few ants. Every ant goes and attacks that. And even if they're dying or whatever, the place you destroy the anthill, the ants all unite and build a new anthill. They don't just say, oh, he destroyed all our work, I give up, I'm going away. You know, this ant over here looks different than the other ant over there, so we don't associate with those ants. They all get along. They don't attack. You know what a wise Indian once said? He says it's the dumbest thing for a tree with leaves to attack the other branches.
yeah.
So, you know, it's something like that. You know, I don't know all those fancy sayings, but it's something like that. For the branches to attack the other branches with leaves of the same tree is just stupidity. And that's the problem with humans. Humans attack other humans, even though they're humans. You get it? Anyway.
Yeah, we are the most vicious animal on the planet. You know, people could say, oh, no, it's the shark, or maybe it's a polar bear, or it's something. No, man is the most fierce and brutal.
Man kills thousands upon thousands of sharks every year. Sharks kill a few humans. You know, we kill millions and millions and millions and billions, I should say billions of mosquitoes by spraying chemicals on them, even if it wrecks our society and kills us off, but we keep trying to kill them off. And yet mosquitoes probably only kill a handful of people every year, you know, through disease or whatever. Is the same, you know. Oh, that's right. And Lucky's got it. See, this is what I love about the Soul Tribe. Lucky's got it. Ojibwe saying, no tree has branches so foolish as to fight amongst themselves. Yes, absolutely. I'm leaving that one up for a little bit. Thank you, Lucky. Best ever. So So anyway, thank you so much. Shall we okay. Lucky, I'm gonna do something here. Don't think bad of me. As managing. Okay, there we go. I switched you up, Lucky. I went from a standard moderator to a managing moderator. How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah, good saying. Gotta reward that with something. Okay, one more of what did we do on episode? I can't even remember now. This was episode 168, and let's listen to what we had to say about a little over halfway through our show, and there we go. So I am gonna turn this down, and here we go. What were we doing on 168? Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. And with my co-host, David All, Hawkeye Two Feathers, who's feeling much better this week.
Oh, yeah. Greetings and blessings, my dear friends, and even those of you who aren't my friends. We greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and we continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from our Creator. And so it's Tribal Tuesday. Thank you, Lucky.
Yes. Nina, the Mystic Truthers in the house. Remember to go over to her Streamlabs channel where they have special Milky Way merchandise. Join her over there on the Streamlabs. The link is right here. I am going to use that and pin that to comments to the top, and as soon as I can. I don't know how to do this, but anyway, go over there and get your limited time offer of Milky Way Soul Tribe merchandise. There's some cool stuff over there, everyone, where you can get my smiling mug on your chest, your mug, or wherever you might like to see it at. So support the Milky Way tribe, support Nina. It's a good thing. We all got to lend a helping hand. And so with that, let's continue on with the show. Susie Q's in the house. Thank you for coming tonight. Love to see you all here for the Tribal Tuesday, as Lucky says.
And all you crazy people that have been with us all these years, thank you.
We're still hoping this will probably be the last. There we go. Wasn't that cool? Yeah, still, I see Lucky's got his thing up. Everybody, if you look in the chat, get your cards picked right away. He's got full list groups of 1 through 2. Eagle, hawk, elk, deer, bear. So when we have card pull tonight, you get it right, Scotty boy. No thing like porpoise and, well, there is a dolphin, but don't be picking crazy stuff like unicorns and beetle bugs or something. There is no aardvark out there either. Oh no. Anyway. Yes. Y'all in Canada use PayPal. I hate PayPal. Never log in. PayPal hates me. Otherwise I would buy and donate. Oh, sorry, Joanne. Yeah. Canada. Y'all in Canada use PayPal. I hate PayPal. Oh, dang. Well, maybe you can work it out with Nina some way. You got to figure that out, Joanne. There's got to be something. Maybe there's Venmo or something.
A check in the mail.
Check in the mail. That's right.
People don't even know what a check is anymore.
Nah, that's true. You got to work it out with Nina. Send her an email. Her link is in the description below. She'll figure it out for you. Do some trading. White light spray for some of your hand knitting. There you go. Get a new account, Nina says. Cash in the mail. Yeah, that works too. Of course, it's if the Canadian mail isn't on strike. I gotta throw that one in there. I'm gonna have to use snail mail. I'm gonna have to use snail mail, but it's out there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Joanne. It's out there. We'll make it happen. You just let us know. If you have to, send me the stuff. I'll order it and have it shipped right to your house. No strike right now, Nina says. No strike right now. That's a good thing, especially during Christmas when people are sending out those special Christmas letters.
Send it by Uber.
Passenger pigeon. Oh, they're dead. So we got a story for tonight. Let's move on. I did my spiel. We had a good time with it. I'm thanking everybody. Seems like nothing ever changes. You're still sitting in the same chair. Your beard has gotten a little bit longer. Your hair has gotten a little bit longer, and you're still here.
Yeah. Yep, I'm still here. Yep. But that means y'all are still here to pick on me too. So I think that's great. I consider it a great blessing that you all are here. And even though some weeks, there are more of you than others, I'm not blaming you, but you know who you are. But the fact that you show up and that we get to share in our craziness, and hopefully you've learned a few things over the years, and and we have become friends because y'all keep showing up. So let's see, is it story time?
Yeah, it's story time. And then it'll be the cards. So everybody get your picks in for the cards tonight. They're going to be good. I tell you, extra specially good because of, the day and time it is.
Yep, and I didn't pull the cards early either, by the way. So they're still in the pack. So, but anyway, so for our story for tonight, it's called When Love Found Out a Way. Now, this is one of the last stories in this book that I'm reading from, and it's Fanciful Tales from Legends of the Adirondack Indians by Kate Brewer, 1905. And so there's a poem attached with this story. Ye whose hearts are fresh and simple, who have faith in God and nature, who believe that in all ages, every human heart is human, that in even savage bosoms, there are longings, yearnings, strivings for the good they comprehend not, that the feeble hands and helpless, groping blindly in the darkness, touch God's right hand in that darkness and are lifted up and strengthened. Listen to this simple story. A very interesting beginning for this. The story is When Love Found Out a Way. Just above the steep rock known as Devil's Rock stood a huge pine tree. Many years it had stood there and looked down on the Silver Lake. Many years had it dropped its needles on the ground till they had made a soft, thick, fragrant carpet. It had been a large, strong tree, many years before the Saronaks were divided, and had looked over the water to see the canoes gathering for many a festivity. Many sights had the old tree seen, and some had made it shiver through all its branches. Often, when members of the divided tribe had met, had the earth beneath it been dyed red with blood shed in hot anger. But there were no war cries on this still day. Not a sound broke the stillness, save the gentle washing of the water against the steep sides of the rock, and that the old tree was waiting, silent, motionless, grand. It waited. Presently, through the stillness sounded the lightest footfall on the carpet of needles, and a tall, straight Indian girl came into view, looking from side to side, as though expecting to see someone or something. Finding the spot deserted, she seated herself under the tree and leaned her smooth, dark head against the old trunk. Then indeed the old tree was happy, and spread out its branches lovingly above her. The sun's rays were already coming aslant through the trees, when a canoe shot into sight from around a bend in the shore. The girl was instantly on her feet and waved her slim brown hand to the occupant of the little boat. Quickly and noiselessly, the brave paddled along, keeping close in the shadows along the bank. There seems to be hardly a landing place, but howling wind knows the bank, and soon the canoe is pulled up under some overhanging bushes, and a few steps bring him to the waiting Winnowa. Winnowa has waited for thee, said the girl, and feared lest misfortune had come close on thy track. Misfortune comes not to howling wind, answered the young man, as he stretched himself on the soft pine needles at her feet and gazed into her face above him. Yet, replied the girl slowly, in the soft monotone of her race, I had much difficulty in stealing away today, and I fear I am being watched. If my father should take thee, she stopped speaking and shuddered at the thought of what might happen in that case. Why should howling wind fear? Can he not choose whom he will? Yes, she answered, and yet here are maidens, comely maidens of his own tribe, who would go with him. Winnowa's heart aches, but she fears for her brave, and this is the last time to meet. Howling Wind rose quickly and seated himself beside her, looking smilingly into her somber face. Seeing there no gleam of light, but only apprehension and grief, he clasped his hands and laid them gently in her lap. See, Winnowa, howling wind belongs to thee only. What wilt thou have him to do? The girl made no reply, but laid both of her hands on the strong ones in her lap and looked sadly at him. "Come, most beautiful of all maidens," he said. "Ere the moon rises, let us be gone. My canoe will take thee safely to mine own people, and there all is ready for Winnowa. There are soft skins on the floor of the cabin, and many vessels there for thee, for her to come." But the girl was not listening to him. Her head was bent slightly forward, and her ear turned in the direction from whence she had come. Quickly she laid her hands on his mouth to still the words he would speak, and pointed to the canoe. Howling Wind leaped noiselessly to his feet, but it was too late. Half a dozen swarthy figures stepped round him and pinioned his arms. It was all done so quickly, so noiselessly, that Winnowa found herself walking swiftly along through the forest before she well realized what had happened. She was not bound, but a well-armed Indian walked on either side of her. Indeed, the precaution was unnecessary, for she had no wish to escape. Her lover was going to certain death. How horrible a death she did not know, and she would go with him to the end. And if they let her live after him, there was always the friendly lake for her, so they could go together to the happy hunting grounds. These were the thoughts which passed rapidly through her mind as she walked through the silent forest, where the moccasined feet of the little company made no noise. Arriving in the village, the tribe was seen to be gathered around a blazing fire which made the moonlight pale. The girl shuddered as she came into the firelight, for she pictured her lover slowly burning, while she was compelled to look on. "Listen, someone is speaking." She pulled herself together with a start as she realized her father, the chief, was addressing his people. "See," the old man said, "this is a son of the lower Saranac tribe, our enemies, and he has tried to steal my daughter from among us. How shall he meet his death?" There was a silence for the space of a minute. Then an old man stepped forward and said, "Our chief is a brave man. It is for him to say." Silence again fell on the people. The chief passed his hand across his brow, and then, without looking at the girl, lifted his right hand and spoke. "Very wrong it is to select for a husband a man of an unfriendly tribe, but we must look for falseness, since falseness it was which caused the division of the once mighty tribe of the Saranacs. Howling Wind shall die by the hatchet, and Winnowa it shall be who shall cleave his skull." For one moment, Winnowa stood as though struck a terrible blow, then raised her head, and with one glance at her lover, as he stood bound fast, she stepped into the light cast by the blazing fire. Proudly she bore herself, has become a chief's daughter. And there were many admiring glances cast on her as unwaveringly she received the hatchet from her father's hand. Surprise was written on the faces of the tribe as she walked to where her lover stood a little apart, with his hands bound behind him. Lifting the hatchet firmly in her hand, she brought it down on the cords which bound her lover's hands, severing them cleanly. Before the astonished tribe had realized that instead of a broken heap, there was an empty space where the captive had stood. Howling Wind and Winnowa were deep in the forest, running noiselessly, Winnowa leading the way, till they turned off the trail and crouched in a shallow cleft of rock hidden by bushes. Silence ceased to reign in the forest. There were cries and torches and much passing. Finally, when the sounds had gone beyond them, Winnowa, grasping her lover's hand, led him by a circuitous route to where his canoe was still hidden in the bushes. Softly they pushed off and paddled in the shadows of the shore, making for the lower lake. When they had gone in silence far from the noise of the search, they floated out into the middle of the silver lake. The round moon shone down on them, and the night winds whispered to them softly as they floated on to where the little cabin was waiting with the soft skins on the floor. The end. So that would have been a hard sentence for Winnowa, who was, supposed to smack her lover in the head and kill him. So, the fact that she used a hatchet to get, to cut the cords, and that the two of them were running in the woods before anybody knew what was going on, that's a good ending to the story.
Absolutely.
And so when love found out a way was that story. And also, interestingly enough, for our 200th show, that is also the end of that book. That's the last story in that book. So next week we'll
get on the ball and pick another book.
I have to find another book. That's right. So, but it's always interesting.
Well, next are cards, and we got a batch. We got Lucky, who is picked. We got Elderberry, I should say, who has picked Hawk, Eagle, Fox, Buffalo, and Spider. And Fox and Frog seem to be in the mix today. Let's see who else picked here. Lynx, Fox, Snake, and Otter, and John Price. That's should give him prizes for this stuff. It's almost as good. He says Fox, Frog, Rabbit, Dragonfly, Eagle, Whale, and the Boogeyman. Lucky says you got to find a book where people are losing their heads because it just isn't the same. Just isn't the same if nobody loses their head.
Yeah, we haven't had a good cleaving in a while, have we?
That's right. Back to the cleavage. And the boy went to the next cabin and he played the game with the giant or what is it, the stone people, and
yeah.
off with his head. There, I hope that brings back old memories of other shows. So we got 1, 2, 3 of you guys have guessed. Everybody's putting in fox. We got a lot of foxes. I'm gonna go with elk. I'm gonna go with whale. I like whale. I'm gonna go with elk and whale myself. And whale. And I feel that we're going to have a change, which is metamorphosis. So I'm going to call butterfly.
Well, that could be snake too, but.
And I'm going to call for we got to have a little defense. So I'm going to call for badger. And I'm going to call for little playfulness. I'm going to go with otter too. I'm going to even trickier. I'm going to go otter upside down. Okay, so that's my guesses. So, John Price says, old stories written by women are the best. Interesting.
Now, they weren't written by them. They were translated by them.
Ah.
These were original native stories that these women or authors collected. So they're a retelling of the story, but they didn't write the story.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Makes sense. So anyway, I'm getting my stuff together here. And so
all right, so what we've got up so far is spider.
Spider. Somebody had spider. Elderberry had spider.
Spider upside down. We've got hawk. Well, I'm sorry. Eagle upside down.
Somebody picked eagle too. Oh, elderberry picked eagle. And let's see. Well, he's got two.
There's one we haven't had.
He was reading people's minds because he's got 2 right off the bat. You guys, you 2 are conspiring, aren't you? Elderberry, what are you doing? You got 2 right. It's unreal. Last week we had 1 right.
Yeah, well, that might be the end of that. The next one, upside down again, is squirrel, which we have not had in a while.
That's right. And nobody has picked squirrel. That's right. No squirrel.
The next one is lynx.
Oh, somebody's got lynx. I know that.
Upside down.
And who's got that? Somebody said lynx. Elderberry.
And then the next one is mountain lion.
Lucky's got lynx.
The next one is mountain lion, straight up. The next one is armadillo. And the last one I just pulled is badger.
I got that one right. Hot diggity. I got one right. Armadillo. Anybody got armadillo besides me? Nope. Or no, badger. Badger. Oh, no. Badger.
And so, and the last card up is fox, upside down.
No way. No way.
Yes way.
No way. That gives elderberry the win tonight. Fox, spider, and
Eagle.
And eagle. Holy cow. And John Price has got fox right here. And he's got eagle. That's 2. And Lucky's got lynx, fox, snake, otter, and something else. Narrow it down. Anyway, wow. Elderberry got 3 of them right. I got 1 right. I got badger right. Wow, wow, wow. That is pretty cool. 3. Jeez. Lynx, fox. Yeah, Lucky got lynx and fox. Oh, he had swan. People were talking about swan, but no swan, no snake. And yeah, fox. John got fox, frog, rabbit, dragonfly, eagle, whale, and the boogeyman. So fox and eagle. And elderberry, he got hawk, eagle, fox, buffalo, and spider. He guessed fewer, but he got more right. So there you go. Eagle, fox, spider. Wow. That's unbelievably awesome. Yeah. Elderberry says he's got his own deck and he pulled those. I pulled those also. So spirit is right on. It's working in harmony. Yeah, John Price, you did dang good. You got 2 right. 2. Lucky, you did excellent too with lynx and fox. Good deal. Last week, remember, I think 1 person got 1. That was it. This week, we are full of it. Everybody is on the path to enlightenment, I swear. So, good job, everyone. Good job. That's all I can say.
And you got to point the finger at me too, because apparently my spirit is hearing it and choosing those cards, by the way, because you're not guessing which cards I chose. I was picking cards that you chose, by the way.
Nah, that's probably true.
Yeah, no, it is true. I didn't choose them. You did. So,
well, there was a lot of talk about swan in this chat here, and nobody guessed swan. Or you didn't pick swan, so there you go.
No, but see, the spirit, you know, it hears what y'all pick, but then it chooses to be discriminative and say, yeah, but you know, swan ain't part of the message this week.
That's right.
Oh, okay, so it's not up to me about that, but I didn't even see swan when I was flipping through them. But anyway, so first one out, spider, upside down. And the contrary aspect of spider is akin to the negative side of woman. Spider will eat her own mate if she gets too caught up in herself to see the validity of honoring male energy. Now, another is that if you're not presently in a relationship, you may have chosen a member of your family to pick on. Now, if that doesn't make sense, and my personal feeling is this, you need to take another look at a message that contrary spider medicine brings: lack of creativity. So I see this as the beginning of these cards. Is spider is saying, you know, hey, there may be a lack of creativity in the cards. In other words, folks they're not just being creative enough. It's hard to say anything else about that except, you know, get off your doofuses and create something, even if it's doodling on a piece of paper. And so the next card is eagle, upside down, and eagle card is the spirit. So if you pulled the card in reverse, you have forgotten your power and your connectedness to the great spirit. You may have failed to recognize the light that is always available for those who seek illumination. Heal your broken wings with love. On some level, Eagle is telling you to seek higher ground on which to build your nest. So, have you forgotten your power? So, if you haven't been creative enough, it might be that you've lost the power to be creative. Okay. So, we as a bunch of people, the squirrel upside down, number 26. Squirrel is about collecting things, gathering. And so the upside down squirrel is a hoarder, someone who is fearful, to give up anything. Waiting for something to happen is the trap. We're all waiting for the world to come to an end. And so if squirrel is hanging upside down, you may have begun seeing the world through opposites. So eagle is saying, the spirit, and maybe, squirrel being the hoarder, you've been hanging on to things that you don't need. You need to make room for other things in your life. And I have somehow, oh, drat. Oh, well, I'll worry about it later. My screen just went goofy because I got cards all over my computer. So, but anyway, the next one up, which is upside down, there's 4 of them in a row that are upside down, is number 18, links. So, we need to quit hoarding. And it might be that we're hoarding our creativity. It may be that we're hoarding our energy. It may not be a physical thing, because eagle is talking about spirit. So in the spirit of things, you may be hoarding your own spiritual energy and sharing it with others, or you're hoarding your energy to not be creative. So in links is about secrets. So well, how about that? So if links is come in upside down, it is time to shut your big mouth. I swear that's what it says. Something you are jabbering about has let the cat out of the bag. Are you defiling a sacred trust, or have you broken a promise to a friend? That's interesting. In that's, the hoarding of things. You might look at choosing to have your brain in gear before you start to babble about things. Become links and wear the Mona Lisa smile. Only you will know what you're smiling about, because links is about secrets. So upside down links means you spilled the beans somehow. Now mountain lion, so don't know what the secret might be, but that could be it. So the next one is number 17, which is literally 1 page back from the links. In it, but it's right side up. So we've had 4 cards in a row upside down, and now we're getting to mountain lion, which is right side up, and it's mountain lion is about leadership. So you've got 4 cards upside down, but now the cards are saying it's time for you to step up and be a leader. All right. So it may be that you need to be the leader and fess up to the secrets that you talked about or whatever. And so, but to be a leader, after having gone through your hoarding too much, you're not being creative enough. You know, your spirit is low. But now Mountain Lion is saying, you know, it involves lessons in the use of the power of leadership. So now we're being asked to stand up and be a leader and you know, and quit being a whiny pod. The next one coming up is Armadillo, number 28 in the book. Yep, the contrary. So Armadillo is about boundaries. So Armadillo wears its armor on its back. Its medicine is a part of its body. Its boundaries of safety are a part of its total being. Armadillo can roll into a ball and never be penetrated by enemies. If Armadillo is waddled into your cards you chose, it is time to define your space. So the message of Armadillo is it's time to define your space. And Mountain Lion is saying take the leadership. In other words, stand up, define your space, you know. And somebody else might go, well, you know, but in that, stand up and define your space. Number 29, which is interesting, it's literally the next page over, is Badger. And it's aggressiveness. But Badger's upside down. But Badger is about the aggressiveness of healing. Not so much aggressiveness in, you know, wanting to beat somebody's butt, but Badger medicine is very powerful to medicine women. So the fact that Badger is in the ground and has all the, you know, the roots and things, you know, sticking down from the top of its thing. Anyway, Badger people oftentimes insist on carrying the ball for a touchdown, but the rest of the team may not like that. But aggressive healing by a Badger person. So, but now that it's upside down, Badger is fuming at something. This could mean that you are being chewed out by somebody else. If this applies to you, remember that all anger stems from anger towards the self. So if you're, you know, feeling chewed out, that means you're probably angry at yourself for doing something or not doing something. So Badger in the contrary position can issue a time of reflection on what you feel helpless about. So the cards are leading up to this point where it's like, okay, you know, has our spirit been waning? Have we not been creative enough? Have we been hoarding too much, like, you know, squirrel upside down? You know, what about the secrets? We've been hiding secrets and whatever. And now here's Badger. That's aggressiveness. But it's upside down in that, you know, Badger teaches you the pitfalls of shyness and insecurity. So Mountain Lion says, okay, become a leader. Armadillo, set your boundaries. And Badger is talking about shyness. In other words, quit being shy. Be more aggressive. You know, don't badger someone, haha, but be more aggressive. And the last card up in the suite of things is Fox, number 25. And Fox is about camouflage. It is. And so, but Fox upside down is as foolish as it is cunning. And you may have fooled yourself into believing that your low self-esteem is due to your being born plain or having an ordinary life. So it seems like Fox here at the end is wrapping up. Hey, quit being pitiful. You know, quit saying, well, I can't do these things because I wasn't born right. I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. But in any case, you are being put on notice to be aware of apathy and self-induced boredom. So all of these cards tell me that there is apathy, because there's Fox telling us right here at the end. This is camouflage of a different sort, in that you have camouflaged your true desire to experience life with friends and with joy and with purpose. In any case, you are put on notice to be aware of apathy and self-induced boredom. So the first card out was Spider, telling you to, hey, quit being that way. Eagle's like, bring your spirit up. Squirrel is saying, quit being a hoarder. Lynx is, the secrets. Mountain lion is about leadership. Armadillo, setting boundaries. Badger is about aggressiveness and quit being so shy about it. And Fox upside down is that, quit blaming things on other stuff. Quit being shy about it and stand up. So I think that's good information. It might be that, with many of you having your cards chosen, that you needed that information yourself. In other words, to straighten out internal frustrations. These aren't bad cards, not at all. If anything, is trying to tell folks that step up your game. Be creative. Stop being so shy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And by the way, Badger is also about aggressive healing. So I didn't mention that, but my spirit guides are going, tell them about Badger and medicine too. So, but yeah, so some of you might be needing some aggressive medicine for aggressive healing. So,
one or the other.
And it might be that the cards are that medicine.
That's true.
And so that you need aggressive medicine because you've been hoarding too much. You haven't been creative enough. I mean, so that sounds like that could be it, as I'm sitting here talking about it. So I hope you were satisfied with the cards tonight.
Oh, I was. It's all good.
Satisfied? Is that the right way to put it?
Pleased. I was pleased. Greatly pleased. Hope everybody else was good. Thank you for everybody who guesses, and thank you for everybody who's been watching the show. Elderberry, Lucky Stone, John Price, Witchy Moon, Nina the Mystic, Joanne Dancing Gypsy. Thank you all for being here tonight. watching the show. I mean, it's been a lot of fun for us and for you. Nina, thank you. 200 episodes here. Yes, we're doing 200 episodes, believe it or not. If we got viewers or no viewers, we're still having a wonderful week. That's right. And so closing out the show, we're going to have, folks, what a night. It's been a journey. 200 episodes, 200 nights of stories, campfire conversations, legends and mysteries, and mountain men tribal histories. And all of you riding right alongside us. And we'll start this show. When we started the show, we didn't know where it was going to go. We really didn't. We didn't know if we were going to do it for 2 weeks or a month or just that one first book called Native American Myths and Legends. We just knew the stories were worth telling. And the people, you, were all going to listen, we hoped. And maybe they did. You wouldn't. Maybe you'd hate it. But we thought, well, we'll start digging for things and telling stories and figure it out on our way. We covered everything from the great mountain men, Jim Bridger, Jedediah Smith, Joe Meeks, Kit Carson, John Y. Nelson, Albert Boone, Seth Kinman, and to the tribes, the Crows and the Cheyennes, the people who made this nation, the Lakotas, the Blackfeet, the Shoshone, the Apache, the Ute, Mandan and the Arapaho, the Navajo and the Hopi, and so many more who carried traditions older than history books and deeper than any frontier trail, who gave us these stories that David tells every week. We've traveled across time, across worlds and myths of the sky people, thunder beings, trickster spirits, shapeshifters, giants, water monsters, and old stories that still echo today. Stories that remind us that this land remembers. Maybe we should too, even if people do lose their heads once in a while in those stories. And the thought of it, the show has changed. Through thick and thin, we've brought you show after show. We've gotten sharper and deeper and braver with our subjects. We've laughed, we've questioned, we've pulled apart the legends, see what truth sits inside them. We've pushed each other and we've grown. Learned a lot, thanks to Hawkeye. Not just as a storyteller or storytelling shows, but as friends. And for you guys out there for being a tribe. And I got to say this, I couldn't have done it without my brother Hawkeye right here, bringing the thunder and the facts and every single week with his wonderful stories and card pulling, and his mentoring to me means a lot. And I really couldn't have done it without you. And I couldn't have done it without you folks out there tuning in. The chat, supporting us, sticking with us through every strange twist on this trail. 200 episodes. That's not just a number. That's a marker in the dirt that says we were here. We told these stories, but you know what? We're not done yet. So tonight, as we wrap up this celebration, let's raise our glass or your water bottle or whatever you want, cup of coffee or whatever you got, to the past we honored and to the truth we're chasing and to the next 200 stories waiting out there on the trail. Much favor to you, and we'll see you next time right here on Native American Myths and Legends, where old stories still breathe and the truth is always worth researching. So with that, thank you, David. Thank you so much.
And I want to say that thank you, Robert, because the stories that I have read and told needed to be read and told. Then for me, it's been great hanging out with you for the last 200 shows, but it's also a privilege for me to read 200 stories, you know, and to put them on tape, if you will, where we put it out there for posterity Because for me, as a storyteller before you and I ever met, was like, how can I keep telling these stories since I've gotten old and I don't travel like I used to? How can I keep telling these stories, and how can I keep reaching people with these stories, because I feel that they need to be told. And so after all of this, for me, it has been one hell of an achievement to be able to have been here for 200 shows and to have been able to have the ability to tell those stories. And regardless of how many people actually listen to our shows or listen to the stories that many times you put out separately, if one person hears that story and gets something out of it, or feels something or whatever, then I feel that I have done my job, and of being able to relate these stories. But as the internet says, once we put it on the internet, it's always there. So maybe by my reading of these stories and you talking about the different tribes and all the different pioneer people, that we've made a mark, that we've made our mark to tell these stories and to talk about these peoples who are our ancestors, who, good or bad, this is America. And so I thank you, Robert, for 200 shows. I thank you for all the presents that you have bestowed upon me over the years, and I'm grateful that you are my friend. And so with all the friendships that we've made through this channel and through the Soul Tribe, thank you. And I do continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the Creator. So, Robert, thank you. And that was my little wind up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Are you doing a show tonight?
I'll try.
Okay. Well, everybody go out and grab a cup of coffee. Go over to David's channel. The link is in the description below. And click on over there and catch up with him. And listen, he'll be on for at least a couple good hours for sure. I know you too well. You don't do it.
It depends on how long the coffee lasts.
That's right. As for me, I'm going to bed early. I got a long trip. I'm going to South Dakota tomorrow. I'm going to check out the sites. Maybe I'll take some pictures and we'll talk about it next week. Maybe I'll see some good stuff. But it's going to be cold. We'll see what happens. But, wish me luck and safe travels, I guess. But with all of that, everybody, remember, the season for giving is here. Go out, give what you can. I know people don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of stuff. Give a little bit of your time. It's worth a ton. Give a hi, a hello, maybe a thank you. Talk to somebody. Give them a big smile, if nothing else. Hey, you can always go out and buy one of these fancy shirts and send it to somebody you know. Makes a great Christmas present. So that's a good thing too. Buy them a mug. Who doesn't drink the coffee when you get older, right? Or they can put whatever they want into it. But the big thing is, season for giving is here. And the best gift you can give is yourself. So just remember that. It ain't about the physical things. It's about making somebody's day special. So think about that. You got a few weeks left to make this year a great year. And with that, everybody, be that frequency you want to receive, everyone. Love you all. Peace, everybody.
Cheers.